Welcome back, adventurers, to Let's Play Steins Gate. In the last episode, the previously deceased, yet now miraculously living Kurisu proceeded to give a rather extensive lecture about the various theories of time travel at the ATF seminar, to which she thoroughly took Rintaro Okabe to school by mocking his pseudonym of Hoin Kiyoma, which is the name that he inadvertently let slip upon realizing the fact that she was somehow still alive. Now the lecture is over and Rintaro has parted ways with Daru and is now here at Yanabayashi Shrine. The cicadas are chirping and there is rather soothing yet ominous Shinto shrine music being played here. And apparently Rintaro needs an exorcism, as he'll need one after the tongue thrashing that he received courtesy of Kurisu. I seriously doubt that Kurisu was a ghost. Regardless, it's natural to seek an exorcism after such an experience. I'm Japanese, it's in our blood. Not really sure about that one. Yanabayashi Shrine is located on the other side of Kanada River. To find it, enter the first side road after crossing Mansebashi Bridge. It's a very small shrine that doesn't fit with the surrounding multi-tenant buildings. Apparently there's a larger shrine here in Akihabara, but this is the one that Rintaro usually goes to. Kanda Mojin is the more famous shrine in Akiba, but I deliberately chose this one. The shrine is so small, you could easily miss it if you weren't looking. Regardless, I can hear the chirping of cicadas, Bulma from Dragon Ball Z, from a few trees growing here. This is actually a very lovely, quiet spot if I do say so myself, and the buildings behind the shrine don't overshadow it in any way, shape or form. And there's Mayuri, greeting us again. Now, funnily enough, there've been various people on YouTube that have actually made montages of the many, many times that Mayuri greets us with doo-doo-doo, and it's rather hilarious to watch. There are two girls standing in front of the main building, and of course there is somebody dressed in what appears to be shrine maiden clothes, whose features are currently being obscured at the moment. First girl obviously is Mayuri, with a happy smile on her face. And the other is a docile looking beauty in traditional Miko attire, Miko being the shrine attirements. Urushibara. Now I know it says Luka, but because L is R in Japanese, it's pronounced Ruka, and this is actually something that is also carried into the Funimation dub, so it's Urushibara Ruka, just pretend that's an R. In fact, don't pretend that's an R, because it is an R, not an L. A stunning example of feminine charm and grace. Lips delicate as like cherry blossoms and bloom. The essence of Japanese beauty. And the chief priest's son. That's right, son. Ruka looks like an ideal form of feminine beauty and grace, but is in fact male. And as Rintaro will point out many, many times, Ruka's a guy. And of course, Ruka actually has a rather similar hairstyle to Mayuri, although less spiky, and is wearing a rather interesting skull pin motif. And of course, this being an anime, Ruka's features are somewhat slightly exaggerated to be somewhat more feminine in appearance. He bows his head. The voice of a girl, the mannerisms of a girl. More feminine than any girl I know. But he's a guy. Taller than Mayuri, yet oh so slender. But he's a guy. Looks stunning in Miko robes. But he's a guy. I'm sorry, the first time I saw this every time this happens, I lose all sense of propriety. Holding a bamboo broom. Apparently in the middle of cleaning. But he's... Just stop it, Rintaro. Stop it. I don't mean to laugh. Oh, this is where it gets... It's almost evening. Yet still hot as hell. I'm sorry. Every time. It's like the leaves on the tree are green. But he's a... It reminds me of Mr. Hollywood from Two Stupid Dogs. You all know the joke. Ain't that cute? But it's wrong. This is Steins Gate equivalent of that joke. Damn cicadas won't shut up. God damn it, Rintaro! Stop it! Stop randomly bringing this up. We know, we get it. Ruka is male. And of course, Rintaro refers to Ruka as Rukako. And apparently he gave him a blade. A sword of some kind. And Rintaro says, he's a friend of mine, I call him Rukako. We met when I rescued him from some aggressive photographers in Akiba's pedestrian heaven. So basically, long story short, a bunch of otaku photographers started taking pictures of Ruka while he was in the middle of the street, clearly still probably dressed in his usual Miko Shrine attire. And due to his feminine appearance, you can obviously see where this went. Fortunately, Rintaro, in a rare moment of heroism, actually did, save him from this situation. It also happens that Rukako and Mayuri are classmates. I learned that fact after I gotten to know him. Rukako is taken aback by my sharp question. He starts fidgeting with a flushed face and tears in his eyes. He is also Rukako is actually the same age as Mayuri, and is rather timid and shy, and not very well, I will say extremely lacking in terms of self-confidence, which only accentuates the unfortunate perception of Rukako being female. The demon sword Samidare, eh? I believe that translates to summer rain or something summer rain. Now, excuse me, Rintaro says that he brought Rukako the sword of Samidare to control his innate power. The real reason is that he wanted to help Rukako attain a sense of self-confidence and self-discipline. And Mayuri lets the cat out of the bag that this demon sword is in fact a second-hand sword from a shop known as Blade Works that apparently cost only 980 yen. And Rintaro responds with a obvious threat of sorts.
消されちゃうの？おかり、心配してくれてありがとう。で
And
も奴らって誰かな？
And in usual Mayuri fashion, as I was about to say, before I rudely interrupted her, is, she has absolutely no idea of what Rintaro is talking about. I believe he is referring about this mysterious organization that we've heard so much about and yet know absolutely little of. And Rintaro ignores Mayuri altogether, in his own way.
それでルカ君、妖刀サムダレはちゃんと使っているのか？
Apparently Rintaro has been diligently making Rukuko do some practice swings with Samadare.
はい、1日1回は素振りを。
あれを持ち、精神ざんまりを極めさえすれば、お前は己の内にある邪悪な炎に焼かれずに済む。
The Seishin Zanma School of Swordsmanship, eh? I believe this school of swordsmanship only refers to the two of them, Rintaro and Rukuko. But that's actually good enough. Demon Sword Samadare may be an imitation sword, but that is only the form it takes to hide from the world. When one worthy to wield it appears, it unleashes its true power. And it was on sale for only 980 yen, tax included.
あんな素敵なものをプレゼントしてもらえて、岡部さんには感謝しています。
And Rukuko is very appreciative of Samadare, and is now indebted to Rintaro.
俺は岡部ではない。
おかりんだよ。ごめんなさい、京馬さん。
And of course, goes without saying that Ruka is the only one who will ever, well, one of only a few people who will ever refer to Rintaro by his nom de guerre of Hoin Kiyoma.
分かればいいのだ。では合言葉を。
Now Rintaro is obviously waiting for Ruka to speak the password. Now we've already heard what the password is. Rintaro signs off with it whenever speaking with his enigmatic contact on his phone.
エルブサイコンガリウ？
That was a good try there, but unfortunately you got the last one slightly wrong, but that was a good effort.
コンガリュウではなくコングルーだ。
はい。エルブサイコングルー。
We still don't know what that
これでいい
means.
ですか？
Well, you deserve a cookie for getting it right the second time. Rukuko smiles happily as I nod.
ありがとうございます。
Such a lovely smile. God, stop it! Stop! Enough with the close-ups of Rukuko, and enough of but he's a guy. We get it. We get it. Rukuko is male. We don't stop randomly doing that.
マユシーは不女子じゃないけど、ちょっとドキドキしてきちゃうよ。
That's actually rather true. Rintaro and Rukuko do indeed have a rather solid master-disciple bond of sorts.
マユリちゃん、変な想像しないで。
Basically, Rukuko is Rintaro's Padawan learner, basically. Think of it that way. So we do have a master-disciple relationship. I, Hoin Kiyoma, have gone to great lengths to teach Rukuko about the evil conspiracies that rule the world and how to resist them. So basically, not too many people know this, but Rintaro is basically filling Rukuko's heads with various stories. The stuff about Demon Sword Samadare is part of that training. Looks aside, Rukuko is very obedient and hardworking. Plus, he's always eager to learn new things. A master couldn't ask for a better disciple. And I would have to agree, given how self-disciplined Rukugo is, as possibly part of his being a shrine worker. And also I should mention that Ruka's father is also the one who actually owns and is the head of the shrine. Though he does have weaknesses of not catching on too quickly and being too shy.
それでなぜマユリはここにいる？
That is a good question, although I'm pretty sure Mayuri's here to see Ruka.
ルカ君に会いに来たんだよ。
And I was correct. Gold
来
star
月
for
の
me.
フリマでライネットのキラリちゃんこそしてほしいってずっと頼んでるのにちっとも OK してくれないんだよ。
So apparently Akiba has its own convention known as Komema, which is basically, yeah, as I just said, a Comic-Con of sorts, where people dress up in cosplay. And I believe, as I mentioned briefly in either this episode or a previous episode, we have one here in New Zealand known as the Armageddon Entertainment Expo. And of course, Mayuri is trying to get Ruka to cosplay at Komema, but he is obviously too nervous in order to do so.
だってコスプレするなんて僕恥ずかしいよ。
Given the fact that Mayuri makes costumes for girls, and even though, again, Ruka has a feminine appearance, not that there's anything wrong with either men or women having long or short or middle hair, it is understandable that Ruka has more than a little anxiety about this.
でもルカ君は絶対似合うと思うんだ。
That may be the truth, Mayuri, but that's not the issue at hand here.
こんな可愛い子が女の子のはずがないで大人気になるよ。ねえ、しようよコスプレデビュー。
Even though this probably has something to do with otaku, it is an unwritten rule that to use this phrase whenever you see someone who looks like a cute girl but is actually of unspecified gender or is actually a boy. I think this in this situation this would actually be referred to by the reverse, as in somebody who looks like this cannot possibly be a boy. In this instance anyway, Mayuri's hobby is making costumes. She made at least 30 so far, but it's rare for her to wear one herself. Instead, she seems to get her kicks from seeing other people wear them. And it looks like she's chosen Rukuko as her next target. Naturally, the costume Mayuri is currently raving about is for a female character. Normally I would understand why a man wouldn't want to dress like a girl, but come on, Rukuko has no problem wearing Miko robes. Why should cosplay be any different? First of all, Rintaro, this is not a costume, and yes, Miko robes are traditionally worn by women, but this is probably a personal thing for Rukuko. But whatever, I have business to take care of.
そんなくだらないことは後でやるんだな。
マユシンにとっては大事なことだもん。
And Mayuri is very upset that Rintaro considers her request rather trivial.
俺にとってはくだらないことなのだ。
But Rintaro doesn't care in the slightest.
俺がこの神社を訪ねたのは他でもない。大払いを頼みたいのだが、やってもらえないだろうか。
Ah yes, I almost forgot. Rintaro's intention to exorcise himself of the ghost spirit that is Kurisu Makase.
お祓いですか？だったらお父さんに。
I suppose Rukuko's father is probably more adept at exorcisms in
いや、
general.
そこまで大げさにしなくていい。気休めでいいのだ。
But Rintaro wants Rukuko to do the exorcism instead of his father.
というわけで例のあれを持ってこい。
Bring out the usual, eh?
例のあれと言いますと
違う。お祓いに妖刀は必要ないだろう。お祓いと言ったらあれに決まっている。正式な名称はわからんが、棒に白い紙がふさふさとついていて、神主がわさわさと振るやつだ。
The stick with the zigzaggy paper things, eh? I should actually mention that I don't actually know what that particular stick is called either.
今のオカリンの説明ゆとりっぽいね。
Yes, indeed, I entirely concur with you, Mayuri. Calling it a zigzaggy paper stick is rather dumb. Quite a shock to hear that from Mayuri. It looks like she's having fun.
でもお父さん貸してくれるかな。
Apparently it's called the Unusa. Apparently.
ちょっと聞いてきます。
And Rukuko is going to get his father's permission to use it. Rukuko makes a quick bow, then runs off towards his house, which is on the shrine grounds. Probably behind the shrine. Meanwhile, Mayuri takes out her pocket watch out of her bag to check the time. It's a very old watch, not the sort you'd expect a high school girl to carry. It's got a rather elaborate chain on it, and the design on the watch face is rather intricate. Its name is Pockety. Obviously that's the name Mayuri gave it, not its brand name or anything. Ever since elementary school, Mayuri has carried Pockety with her everywhere. It's her most important treasure.
じゃあマユシーはこれからバイトだからもう行くね。
And Mayuri apparently has a either a day or a afternoon job.
そうか、頑張ってこい。バイトが終わったら直接帰るのか。
Mayuri lives in try to pronounce this right. Ikebukuro. I think that's pronounced that right. She comes to Akaba by train just about every day. It should be obvious since we're childhood friends and all, but I live there as well. Ikebukuro. Yes, that's that one. Though I've been staying at the lab since summer break began.
というわけでまた明日ね。
And see you later, Mayuri. I call Mayuri to stop before she trots off.
マユリ、お前はあの時ラジカンで男の悲鳴を聞いたよな。
Well, that was true. She was with us when we heard that scream back in the Radicon building, but things have changed since then. It's still the jury's still out on the actuality that actually happened. Mayuri blinks several times and puts her finger to her temple as if in thought. Then she gives her usual smile.
それっていつのこと？
Yeah, just as I thought, Mayuri has no recollection of the scream whatsoever, and given the fact that apparently for some reason Kurisu's murder never happened...
今日の昼だ。
聞いてないかな。
そうか。わかった。だったらいい。
Probably best to let her alone and not confuse her anymore either.
変なオカリ。
Indeed he is.
じゃあね。トゥットゥルー。
And farewell to you. Doo-doo-doo. Mayuri leaves, this time for good, though she pauses to wave at least a half dozen times before disappearing beyond the archway.
岡部さん。
And Ruka goes
お
back
待たせしました。
with the Yanusha. Yes, that's what I said. The white zigzaggy thing is the Unusha.
借りることができました。よかったです。
I should mention that Ruka's dad is actually pretty good-natured.
まゆりちゃんは帰ったんですか？
Yeah, she left.
マユリはどうでもいいから、今すぐお祓いを始めるのだ、ルカ子よ。
And Rintaro was rather impatient to begin the exorcism.
はい。僕でいいんでしょうか？そもそも何に対するお祓いを？
I believe Rintaro wants you to exercise Makase Kurisu. I didn't. Who said that? Rukago is flustered. Is he really up to this? I'm beginning to doubt. I should have known better. The instant doubt touches my heart, a terrible chill shoots up my spine.
俺に取り付いた悪霊が。
I grab my violently shaking wrist.
沈まれ悪霊よ。急げルカ子。このままでは俺は乗っ取られる。
For some reason, Rintaro's right hand is shaking rather violently.
そんな、岡部さん、しっかりしてください。
And Ruka's very much upset.
岡部さんではない。
And even while he's in pain, Rintaro insists that he is Horin Kiyoma.
すいません、京馬さん。でも僕、どうしたら？
お祓いを急げ。この前教えた通りにやればいい。
And if you couldn't already tell, the epic music that's currently playing right now means that this is indeed a matter of life or death.
はい。
And there's the Unusha. The serious look on his face, Rukuko grasps the Unusha with both hands as if it were a sword. His stance is impressive. I taught him well. And Ruko is still hesitant. His face is red and he can barely talk. He looks like he wants to say something but is hesitating. Panicking because he feels awkward? Amateur. It's rather not...
頼む悪霊を俺の中から追い出してくれ。
It appears that Rintaro is in extreme pain by this point.
俺はお前を殺したくない。
And now Rukuko is crying. Good job, Rintaro. Good job. Looks like he's really worried. Reason tells me he's a guy, but its lovely appearance makes me feel guilty, like I made a frail girl cry. But despite the tears welling in his eyes, it looks like Rukuko has managed to work up his resolve.
悪霊よ。
He raises the Unusha up high, shaking it left and right.
岡部、じゃなくて、京馬さんから。
おいいぞ。そのまま俺の腕にふさふさを当てろ。
The tip of the Unusha touches my upper arm. In an anime, this would be the cue for some dramatic shockwave to occur, but nothing like that happens. The only sound is the chirping of cicadas. I take a deep breath. The trembling in my arm has stopped.
大丈夫だ。悪霊は去ったようだ。よくやったな、ルカ子。
So, thanks for the help of Rukuko, the exorcism has been successful, and the evil spirit inhabiting Rintaro's right arm has been put at bay for the time being. Oh, who am I kidding? You all know this is a farce. by Rintaro. I'm not fooling anyone with this, am I? However, Rukuko sighs in relief and blushes.
お役に立ててよかったです。
His shy smile really does make him look like a girl. After I get back to the lab, I take the broken TV down to the Brawn Tube workshop for repairs. Daru and Mayuri have already gone home, so I have to carry the TV down the narrow staircase by myself. It's brutal back-breaking work, but I manage. Yeah, that is a rather narrow set of stairs, if I do say so myself. I push the workshop door open with my hips and head inside. The room is dimly lit by the setting sun, but the gloom is offset by the glare from the gigantic CRT in the center of the room. A 42-inch CRT television, I might add. It doesn't seem like something you could get in modern Japan. These are all rather antiquated TV screens. With LCD TVs becoming the new standard, I seriously doubt that anyone would want a bulky old CRT.
Oh, どうした岡部?
Sitting in front of the huge CRT is an equally huge man reading a sports newspaper. He's the workshop's manager, actually the owner of the whole building, Yugo Tenuji. I call him Mr. Brawn, because he is the, well, he's the one with the Brawn TVs, so, yeah, and this is the Brawn Workshop. It's a fitting name for someone who loves Brawn tubes.
どうしたもこうしたもないですよ。あなたからもらったテレビが壊れた。
Of course, it goes without saying that, like everyone else, Tenushi does not like the nicknames that Rintaro gives him.
おめえ、俺のブラウン管を乱暴に扱いやがったな。
Well, to be fair, Rintaro did hit it with his hand after getting angry at Alpaca Man, which did cause it to short out. I barely managed to set the heavy TV on the counter.
愛が足りねえんだよ、愛が。
A muscle-bound, bald guy talking about love. It sends shivers down my spine.
修理をお願いしたい。最優先だ。
相変わらず変な話し方だな、おめえって。
And if you couldn't already tell, Tenuji does not get along. Yeah, Yugo does not get along well with Rintaro at all. And we got a thing from Mayuri. Don't sell it. Upo's super popular, you know. Even more popular than the hero Kakekuru-kun. That is the heroine that I think Mayuri wanted Ruko to cosplay. I want to collect them all. It's like how you used to collect black fingerless gloves, remember? If we reply to this one, I have no idea who that is. I don't watch bad anime, but we're not going to answer that. And if we reply to the other one, indeed, but you must never speak of that to anyone else. It was necessary to seal the abomination lying dormant in this right arm of mine. Also, there is an attachment here of a display of a giant Upa face and 3 Upas, 1 blue, 1 yellow and 1 pink. We're going to reply to the fingerless glove. And mail sent. There we go. That doesn't really have any sort of effect on the story, except for the fact that if you look at the Upa attachment, you actually get a Rynet mascot achievement. But I've already gotten that, so that's okay. Mr. Braun begins investigating the cause of the problem. With nothing better to do, I look around the store. I don't know if it's just the dust hanging in the air, but something feels strange about this place. There are CRT screens everywhere. Here, there, everywhere. The haphazard layout makes them seem like junk, but they're all functional according to Mr. Braun. He's got a full range of both old and new. Some of them are probably older than me. There are even some flat screen and HD CRTs that came out just before LCDs took the market.
今日は遅くまでやっているんですね。普通だったら夜7時には店じまいでしょ。
It's actually rather late for a store like this to be open. The crowds in Akaba thin quickly at night. All the major electronic stores close around either 8 or 9 o'clock. And then, as if the liveliness of the day was simply a lie, the town goes silent.
今日はこれから客が来るんだな。
客？例の小動物ですか？
Ah yes, Yugo does have a daughter,
おめえな。
believe it or not.
俺の愛しい娘を小動物呼ばわりするんじゃねえ。
And, should probably go without saying that Tanuji does not want Rintaro to speak of nor be in his daughter's presence whatsoever. The manager glares at me and takes a photo from his wallet. It's a picture of a young girl, shyly making a peace sign at the camera. One might assume that this muscle-bound man to be some kind of pervert, but she's actually his daughter. She's about 12 now, I think. His love for her is second only for his love of CRTs. Or is it the other way round? Probably the other way round there, Rintaro. I see her in the store every now and again. What was her name?
ない手出したらぶっ殺すからな。
Yeah, Yugo is exceptionally hostile towards Rintaro where his daughter is concerned. A rare name that means to braid. She pops up at the store now and again, so we've interacted with her before. And by we, I mean Mayuri, since she's the only one that Nai gets along with. Nai always hides when she sees me or Daru. I must admit, I'm impressed she can sense my aura of madness at such an early age. Mr. Braun makes a grandiose kissing gesture at his daughter's photo. Ever the doting father. Once again shivers down my spine.
しかし、娘以外でこの工房に客が来ることがあるんですか？
Doesn't appear that this shop actually gets much foot traffic, besides Yugo and I, and Rintaro. I've been renting the second floor for about 6 months, but I don't recall ever seeing a customer. I would be surprised if this place were actually making any money.
客っつうかなんつうか。
Puts away the photo and goes back to checking the TV, leaving me with that vague answer.
ああ、これは多分基盤のハンダ浮きだな。直せろぜ。
そうですか。ではよろしく。
待ってろ。見積もり書作ってやる。
金を取るのか？
Yeah, if there is one thing that Yugo Tanuji isn't, it's cheap.
当たり前だろ。払わねえつもりだったのか。
Yeah, that was probably the catch for getting an old television for free anyway.
このテレビはあなたからもらったものだぞ。
You always have to read the fine print there, Rintaro.
だからなんだよ。アフターサービスまでタダでやってやるとは言ってねえぜ。
That is, true. Unfortunate as it is.
自分の間近のオンボロを押し付けておいて、その言い草とは。
うるせえな。だったら一つやってもいいんだぞ。家電リサイクル法で回収費ももらうけどな。
横暴だぞ。人類史の未来を変えるやもしれぬ男からたかろうとは。
ああ、それ誰のことだ。
And, like everyone else, Tanuji does not care for this Ho in Kiyoma person.
俺のことに決まっているでしょ。
歯磨いて寝ろよ、ガキ。
そもそも2階をただ同然で貸してやってるこの俺にそういうこと言うとはいい度胸だな。
Yeah, he is not a man that is easily impressed, least of all by Rintaro.
修理代は弾もうミスター・ブラウン。
In the end, I'm no match for him. Just then I hear the door open. Maybe it's the person he's expecting. I look up to see that a girl has entered the store. She's wearing a vintage jacket and tight shorts that highlight her long limbs and athletic figure. I find myself particularly impressed by her well-defined thighs. And was up to you too. And all of a sudden the background goes inverted for some reason. Suddenly time stops. It feels like someone activated the world.
あれ
And cue awkwardness. The girl is still standing there with her arm in the air. Her smile gradually fades into confusion. What kind of reaction was she hoping for? Seriously. Anyway, is she the person that Mr. Braun was expecting? Most likely. I believe I'm going to end the episode here, and when we return adventurers, we shall hear what this person has to say and why she is here to see Mr. Braun of the Braun Tube Workshop. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.